folks out there who may not know who you are, I mean, who are these people? But let them know who you are, please.
My name is Daniel Loveless and I'm a media personality born in Trinidad and Tobago. I've traveled to over 26 destinations worldwide producing this educational and entertaining show called What You Know. It's a show where I interview random persons in the street across different locations in the world, seeking to find out what they know about general knowledge topics, their cultural heritage, their country, and just general things that people should know. They compete in exchange for winning a prize, which most times is like 1,000 TT or 1,000 US, based on the country that we are in. And if they answer all 5 questions correctly in an interview, they win this grand prize. If not, they have the opportunity to learn something and win many different consolation prizes.
Where did the idea for this come from? What was the concept behind this?
Well, I completed secondary school in Trinidad and Tobago in 2014. And from 2014 to 2016, I went through a period of trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to do. I got into different jobs, little odd jobs here and there, doing like customer service rep work at different companies. What I enjoyed about that job was interacting with people. But what I did not enjoy about the job was the practical side of, sitting behind a computer all day and just being there. But I didn't enjoy interacting with people. So after doing that for a few months, because of my deep desire to always know more about life, to know how to live a more efficient life, to know how to manage my money better, just to know more. I believe life is all about what you know. I always thought that life was all about what you know. So I thought that it would be interesting to get out there and see what people knew about general knowledge topics, what people knew about their country, etc. And that is where the idea of What You Know was born. I took to the streets of Port of Spain and questioned a few persons doing a social experiment to see what people knew. I then packaged that content and put it out on my personal Facebook profile, and it was like an overnight success, 500,000 views overnight, So I was like, wow, this is it. And for the past 5 years, I've been producing What You Know. Now you know.
So you have currently a little over 131,000 followers on Instagram.
That's right.
And based on the story that you're telling me, it almost feels like you're overnight success because it just took that one video.
So when I put out the video on my personal Facebook profile, I got 500,000 views on my personal profile. But in that time, there wasn't any structure in terms of a Facebook page and Instagram page. I just had my personal profiles. So what I did after that video went viral was I created a Facebook page and started to produce more videos. And I kept putting out more videos on that Facebook page, which is up to 500,000 followers on Facebook now. Then when it was at approximately 300,000 or so, I ventured into Instagram. That's how we managed to build that platform. Then I ventured into YouTube and managed to build over 167,000 viewers there with over 27 million views. Yeah, so it was an overnight success in terms of numbers. Yes, on my personal Facebook profile. And we always had the hype in terms of the numbers, but in terms of business success, if you want to call it that, that was a slow, steady, incline.
When it comes to your different platforms, because you mentioned Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, which platform has your biggest audience?
Facebook definitely has the biggest audience, which is approximately 500,000 followers to date.
Wow. And when it comes to Facebook, there's this international narrative that Facebook is dying and, nobody's on Facebook. What would you say to that person?
Yeah, this is one part of the interview where I'm going to laugh because I'm here the waterman passing and I mean, water. But anyway, I definitely don't agree with that. I believe that it's based on the audience that you have built. So because I started on Facebook, like I've managed to build this solid, loyal audience on Facebook. Like they look out for me. Like the largest age demographic there is like 25 to 34. They look out for me like a son, literally. Like I have the older heads there. They look out for me. Like so, anything I do there is a success. To this day, every single video that I put out that I put out manages to do over 100,000 views. I would agree that the numbers have indeed decreased a bit because Facebook changed the algorithm over the years, making personal profile content priority over business pages. So it makes it a bit difficult to get those viral videos. So what I now do is that I switch my strategy to making the videos shorter and just doing things to ensure that the videos still go viral. But I do disagree with that narrative. It's based on the relationship that you build with your audience. If you be loyal to them, they will be loyal to you.
You mentioned Facebook making changes to the algorithm because we had a previous guest, Nelly B. You know, they manage the Caribbean people with natural hair Facebook group, and that engagement level is insane. Yeah. When it comes to a group, have you explored it? Is something that you looked at before? What are your thoughts on that?
A Facebook group, that is?
Yes.
I actually never did, but maybe I'll consider it because you told me about it now. So now I know.
Oh, okay.
You know.
What is your personal favorite platform?
That's an interesting question. I think that each platform has its pros and has its cons. So I think personal favorite, I definitely have to say Instagram because I'm able to be so free with the content. When I say free, there's content that I would not put on Facebook because I know that it will cause controversy, etc., etc. But then I'll put it on Instagram because they laughed and accepted well, etc. So each platform has its pros and its cons. But so I adjust my personality for each platform. If I go on YouTube, I know there's a lot of kids there following, so I got to be this. You know, if I go on Instagram, I could be a little more loose with my speech and say, you know, kind of talk a little more free. On Facebook because it's a little older heads. I gotta kind of address them like parents in a sense, you know, very respectful, you know, shout everybody out. Everybody needs a shout out. On YouTube, I'm this philanthropist. The kids love me. I'm the guy, you know, I'm that guy. So it's just about basically trying to adjust your personality and your strategy for each platform. But Instagram is definitely my most favorite.
Okay, and what about TikTok? What's going on with that? What's the strategy for that compared to your other platforms?
There was absolutely no strategy for me because when TikTok launched, I was 4 years in creating content, so I just used up all the content. I'm not into that whole dancing and I don't know. I can't do it right now. But I've built a platform on what you know. I just use back the same short clips, post them on TikTok. But we've managed to build a following of over 98,000 followers with approximately close to 1 million likes, 800,000 likes. I love TikTok because of the eyes. You know, you could get across that message there from TikTok. The eyes are important, which links back to why I don't think that Facebook is ineffective. Because I could have the eyes of 200,000 people with one click. So it's basically the message that I put there. What do I want them to do? Do I need them to buy something? Do I need them to subscribe to something? So that's why I like TikTok as well, because it's quick to generate those likes and those views. You know, it's really, really, really quick. 100,000 followers on TikTok in what, 2 months? Wow, come on. Definitely could do 1 million if I keep consistent over 10 months. So the eyes are important for me on TikTok.
What is the biggest demographic for the audiences that you've built across the platforms?
So in terms of the reach, 50% is derived from Trinidad and Tobago, approximately like 30% from the United States, and the other 20% is split into different Caribbean islands. One problem I do encounter though is some people look at this stuff, but they don't click that follow button. So it's hard to even define. So my numbers may be flawed as well, because every time I go live, a lot of people from Dominica are like, wow, come to Dominica. We love your show in Dominica. But the numbers don't state that. Instagram, approximately 60% of the audience, Trinidad and Tobago. The other 30% lies in the States. On the YouTube side of things, we have a larger viewership in the States than Trinidad and Tobago, which is weird. I don't know why, but yeah. So that happens on YouTube. We get a lot of kids over there on YouTube. I assume because maybe they're not old enough to have those social media accounts, etc. But what I am grateful for, though, just to make a note, is the mix. You know, the mix of different audiences. So it's like, that's why I'm able to advertise and do stuff for many different brands, because I will know which platform and how can I target them.
At the risk of completely being biased, would you consider yourself a competitor to what may be considered traditional media in the radio and newspaper space?
I embedded this mentality that I am my own only competition. Maybe it's the inner Garvey in me. So no, I don't consider myself a competitor to newspapers and the radio station. It's just like I just feel like I've just created this lane of my own, and what I usually say is that you want to be a part of it, then be a part of it. But we are going towards that vision, and you know, it's like get on or don't be. You know, it's like I've traveled the world without sponsors. I've traveled the world with sponsors. You know, we're gonna do it. So no, I don't consider myself a competitor. I just believe it's just different. It's just so such a different form of advertising rather than having an ad on the radio saying, you know, check this out, you know, for 5% off. You know, I just believe it's different, and I believe that it's more effective. Let's just say Coca-Cola. Let's just use that as an example, right? Coca-Cola, they say, all right, we want to sell these bottles of Coca-Cola for $3 for the entire month of March, right? So we have What You Know, and we have a radio ad, right? So you have the radio ad, put in the radio ad into perspective, buy your Coca-Cola for $3, etc. for the month of, right, whatever. But then there's Daniel Loveless, who produces What You Know. Daniel Loveless now goes out in the streets of Aruka, interviews George. George happens to be homeless. Now imagine me having that Coca-Cola bottle in my hand while interviewing George, and while when George won, I say, yo, you know, this Coca-Cola bottle, or even in the middle of interviewing George, this Coca-Cola bottle, buy it for $3. You will not speak about, wow, on the radio I heard, buy a Coca-Cola bottle for $3, but you'll remember George and the connection. So I feel like I add a lot more. So I give you the radio, the newspapers, and George, and the education, and the entertainment, and the feel-good, and the viral. And I mean, 300,000 views in a day on George's video. So, you know, just everybody in the streets was speaking about that video. It's viral. You saw it. Everybody saw it. Rather than, but I do remember the ad that I heard on radio last week, you know.